You've probably spent a few minutes scrolling through endless listings, trying to find a scan tool that won't feel like a toy, that actually sticks around when the warranty expires, and that doesn't empty your wallet before you even get a chance to use it. The fear of buying a piece of hardware that promises full system coverage but ends up being a paperweight on the garage floor is real, especially when you're juggling a busy schedule and a growing list of car issues. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I've learned from digging into forums, watching a handful of tech-focused YouTube deep dives, and reading the handful of reviews that do exist for the launch X431 PRO3 Plus Elite is that the real decision point isn't about how many codes it can read, but how it fits into the rhythm of your daily repairs. If you're the type of person who pulls the car into the driveway, runs a quick OBDII read, and moves on, you might not need the bidirectional, coding-heavy features that this unit packs. If, on the other hand, you run a small shop, you love tinkering with ECU calibrations, or you own a fleet of different makes and models, the value proposition starts to shift dramatically. Let's start with the practical side of setting it up. The scanner runs Android 10 on a 10.1-inch touchscreen, so it feels more like a tablet than a traditional handheld tool. Plugging it into the vehicle's OBD port is straightforward, and the first thing you'll notice is the SmartLink C and J2534 protocol support. In plain language, that means you can use the same device for both standard OBDII reads and for more advanced reprogramming tasks that usually require a separate J2534 dongle. For a DIYer who has already bought a cheap Bluetooth OBD reader, that's a massive upgrade because you no longer need to juggle multiple devices just to flash a module. The real strength shows up when you actually start using the bidirectional functions. Imagine you're troubleshooting an intermittent ABS warning on a 2015 Subaru. With a basic scanner, you'd only get a DTC and maybe a freeze frame. With the X431 PRO3 Plus Elite, you can send a command to the ABS controller, read live sensor data, and even activate the pump to see if it engages. That kind of one-touch diagnostics cuts down on guesswork and can shave hours off a job that would otherwise involve pulling wires and swapping parts blind. Another use case that separates this tool from the crowd is ECU coding. I'm not a professional tuner, but I did a quick test on a 2018 Honda Civic that required a simple idler relearn after swapping a fuel pump. The scanner's coding interface guided me through the process step by step, and the relearn completed without a single error. The software includes over 60 hot services that automate common procedures, think key programming, oil service resets, or TPMS activation. For a shop that services a variety of brands, that library of services translates directly into billable labor hours. Now, the flip side. All that capability brings a steeper learning curve. The interface is packed with menus, and while the touchscreen is responsive, the sheer amount of options can be overwhelming the first few times you fire it up. If you're used to a single-click code reader, you'll need to invest a few evenings watching tutorial videos or reading the built-in help sections. There's also the matter of connectivity. The J2534 portion relies on a stable USB link to the vehicle's ECU, and a handful of owners have reported occasional timeouts on certain European models. It's not a showstopper, but it does mean you should budget a little extra time for troubleshooting the tool itself before the actual repair. Cost is another practical consideration. The X431 PRO3 Plus Elite sits in the upper mid-range for consumer-grade scanners, and that price makes sense only if you're extracting the full suite of functions. For someone who just wants to clear a check engine light once a year, a $30 Bluetooth dongle does the job just fine. However, the device includes 2 years of software upgrades, that's roughly 300 service updates, which keeps it current with newer models and firmware changes. In a fast-moving market where manufacturers introduce new protocols every year, that subscription-style update plan can actually save you from needing to replace the hardware in the near future. Battery life is decent for a tablet-sized device, lasting around 5 to 6 hours of continuous use. In a garage setting, that's usually more than enough because you can keep it plugged into a power strip while you work. The downside is that the unit isn't the most portable if you need to carry it around a large service bay. It's heavier than a pocket-sized scanner, so it's best suited for a dedicated workstation or a bench where you can leave it plugged in. So, who should walk away? If you're a commuter who never goes beyond check engine light on off, you'll likely find the X431 PRO3 Plus Elite overkill. The learning curve, price point, and occasional connectivity quirks outweigh the